it's our journey to know that's taken us from those very humble beginnings.
It continues to point to a gene-environment interaction.
I distinctly remember sitting there thinking, my daughter couldn't read on Monday, and now she can read.
So I'm hosting my own reading challenge.
Formula that we recommend based on the research.
And we called it Lindamood-Bell Learning Processes.
Welcome to the Lindamood-Bell Radio Podcast, where we explore topics in literacy and learning. I'm Dave Hungerford for Lindamood-Bell. Thanks for listening. Educators, attend one of our live online teacher workshops. You'll learn evidence-based programs that help students read and comprehend to their potential. Our approach is proven effective for dyslexia, autism, English language learners, and more. When you take an online workshop, the price of your complete teacher kit is included, so you'll have everything you need to get started with students. Learn more about our teacher workshops for language and literacy at lindamood-bell.com. Today's podcast comes from a conversation I had with Mandy Melville in Kingston, Jamaica this summer. She's leading an incredible project that I was fortunate enough to be able to visit at a school in Kingston. She's also working hard to secure funds from private donors to maintain and expand her efforts, helping teachers and students all over Jamaica. It was amazing to witness, and if you are interested in assisting, check out the Creative Language-Based Learning CLBL Foundation webpage, or call us here at Lindamood-Bell. Good enough.
Mandy Melville from Jamaica. I am the founder of Creative Language-Based Learning Foundation. Foundation started after we started training teachers in the Lindamood-Bell Learning Processes programs.
And so you are currently involved in a project with Lindamood-Bell, a summer school. What kind of got you interested and inspired to take on this project?
My son attended Lindamood-Bell. He's dyslexic, so after his assessment, one of the recommendations was your reading program, the Lindamood-Bell Learning Program. And we started there when he was 7, and we continued for a few years. I would take him to Miami from Jamaica during his holidays to participate in the learning centers there. I went from a son who used to run away from school to, by the time he got to grade 6 to do his grade 6 exams, and he was preparing his mock exams, he was doing exceptionally well. His teachers at school asked me about the program because they were very interested in learning the program after seeing how he had progressed over the years. So
you decided to bring something back to
Yes,
Jamaica.
with that I made a call knowing that Lindamood-Bell was in over 60 countries around the world. I said, they can work here too, especially if it's worked with my one specimen, Joshua. I'm sure if we could do something here, it would help many children. So I called Lindamood-Bell the end of January 24th, 2017. And by April 16th, I think it was, we had our first 4-day workshop.
And so you recruited teachers from the public school system. How did that work? With the ministry, the program's been financed from the Chase Fund in Jamaica, and with the endorsement of the Ministry of Education. So through the Ministry of Education, they gave us a list of schools that we should invite to participate, schools that we felt had reading rooms and special ed pull-out rooms that we could combine the teachers and the resource room teachers, the classroom teacher and the resource room teacher, to help create that little net within the school. So we had an interview process, and from the interview process, teachers were selected to participate, and then after that, they were invited to do the workshop. After the workshop, we then did a month of coaching where we went into all the schools from across the island that we had included in the program, and then from that, we had our summer school, which has now turned out to be an annual event, and this is our 3rd year doing it. And so, as one parent, all of a sudden you're working with the Ministry of Education. There had to be some incredible amount of networking and work that you did along the way to get there in such a rapid time frame.
I guess when you're passionate about something and you see where it can help so many other students, and students who could never afford to even buy the airfare to go to Lindamood-Bell. It motivates you and you keep going. And you see a child, for me, my son, who had so much anxiety going to school because by the time he got to grade 3 and realized he couldn't read at the same pace everyone else was, he didn't feel he could manage. So I could relate to kids who their teachers have never had this exposure to such an amazing program, and the children would just be frustrated. So from that motivates me and keeps me going with the support of my family and friends who support me both morally and financially to raise the funds to keep the project going.
And how has the reception been from the teachers who've had this opportunity?
The reception that I've heard from the teachers is that to them this is a solution, this is an answer to what they have been looking for, and has helped them tremendously.
I've talked with some of the teachers involved in the project, and they said that while the official literacy and numeracy rates are good in Jamaica, there are still a lot of students that kind of fall through cracks and need help.
Yeah.
How did they identify students for the project here?
I think from the classroom teacher and the schools that do have the resource rooms, they choose a weaker ones, the ones that they're not able to reach using the typical learning style in a classroom. And if they have a resource room teacher, they do the pull-outs. If they don't, you find the teachers are coming early to school to accommodate those students, to try and give them 15 minutes, half an hour extra time. Some students after school to give the extra time. And part of the program is to be able to use the program in the entire classroom. So once the teacher, masters the methodology, it's just going to come naturally to every subject she teaches.
And you instituted an organization, Creative Language-Based Learning, to help facilitate the management of this. What's the mission of that organization?
The mission is to try and continue this program as long as possible, to be able to expose as many teachers as possible across the island in the program. And the goal is for sustainability, to have the teachers master the program, true fidelity of the program, to be able to share the program accurately with their colleagues and sustain the program.
So this is going to allow them the ability to network as professionals. As professionals,
to create that net in the classroom and that continuity. Even if we couldn't have every teacher participate in a workshop, but if you have the strong teachers within the schools, the resource room teachers, if the schools have a resource room, those grade 1, grade 2 teachers, all exposed to the program, then we find we can easily create that net and continue the program from whether the kids start in the September or through the summer school, throughout the school year, being taught to read using this methodology. Now we've introduced numeracy this year to bring those levels up as well. So to just strengthen each school, to really make a lasting effect on the student.
And the hope is that will change the school's or the individual's trajectory.
The student's future.
All right. And you've established some partnerships, not just with Lindamood-Bell, but other organizations to the Ministry of Education. How does that come about, and how does that, in effect, what does that look like now? Ministry
has endorsed the program and very supportive of the program. Every step we make, we involve them. We make sure they know exactly what we would like to do. We get their approvals and we go ahead with it. So the idea is every year we would continue doing a workshop with a new group of teachers. For literacy, we do the Scene Stars and the VV together for 4 days. And then from that, we before that, we have the interview process where we interview again to select a new round of teachers. Guidance from the schools to select comes from the donors and the Ministry of Education. They give the recommendation of the schools which they'd like us to invite.
And what criteria are you looking for in the teachers?
We're looking for strong teachers who will be able to grasp the program and become local instructional leaders so that they will be able to lead their colleagues. There are a lot of schools that need it, but if we don't have the right fit of teachers, it's going to take too long to really have an impact on the school. So through the interview process, we look for a cluster of teachers, strong teachers, either within a school or within an area, a little neighborhood of schools, so that they will also have each other to support each other. So that whole professional learning community side of things comes into place, where we meet once a month and they can continue to have dialogue throughout the school term, help each other, and really strengthen the community.
Are schools placed into, or districts? Do you have like governing bodies like we have in the
have
States?
regions. So there are 6 regions throughout the island.
And so they'll have several elementary schools, high schools, and everything under their governance. Yeah.
And they like when we start from what they call the infant schools. So that's, from age 3 to age 5, and then they go into the primary schools. So if we can even get the teachers from the infant schools, and then it continues into the primary schools, the grade 1s, the kindergartens, if we can start reaching those teachers, and we're really creating a fantastic opportunity for the children.
Have teachers had its opportunity to, because you are pulling from across the island, to interact with each other in other ways prior to this, or is this kind of a new opportunity for them?
I think this is new for them. A lot of walls have come down because usually for the culture, we have a way of protecting what we know rather than sharing. So this has brought a lot of walls down where people realize by sharing, we can help each other. And we've all had similar experiences, and what you were able to do when you had that child that when you tried this, it didn't quite work at that time. And someone else will say, I had that same experience and what I did was ABC, try that. So you're finding through the professional learning communities that we're able to break down these barriers because everyone's meeting each other, they're discussing, sharing telephone numbers, and it has broken down a lot of barriers.
That's great. And I would presume you're still willing to look at other partnerships and have people be involved with your project as well?
Yes, we want to continue. We want to involve also the teaching communities, so the different teaching colleges. We want to, share with them what we're doing, so we can start, from the teaching colleges they can be exposed and understand the whole program that we're using.
So, why is it that, from your understanding of the approach, that a certified registered teacher would need this extra help beyond what they would learn in the university?
I think it's another tool in the toolbox. I think it's a fantastic tool, an opportunity. It's researched, tested, validated. It does help the students, and just to have an option where for the teachers, the way they were taught at school, the way they were taught to teach throughout the teaching colleges, that method may work with most kids, but then there are the few that need a different approach. So being able to use the Lindamood-Bell approach and having that extra tool in your tool pan is a phenomenal opportunity for them.
I've heard a lot of people liken it to being the other professions, medicine or law, where you continue your education as you go through your career.
Always learning something new every day.
That's hopefully. How would someone contact you even outside of the area if they wanted to help in some way?
We have our website. It's still new. We're updating it. We do a lot of our funds go through the Sandals Foundation, who we've been in collaboration with. And also now that we are looking at continuing the program for at least another 5 years, we hope, we've started our own foundation, the Creative Language-Based Learning, CLBL Foundation. And through either foundations, we can receive support.
And so as you've envisioned this, and you say a 5-year plan, how close would you say you are to reaching that piece where you will be content?
When I have my donors saying we're on board for another 2-3 years, that gives us a breathing space to know that we can just focus on our deliveries, our changes that we want to make, the data we want to bring in to show that the impact it's having. So it would be nice to have persons say we're on board for X amount of time and give us an opportunity to focus on the real parts of the program, success of the program.
Great. What would you say has been like one of the greatest challenges in getting this organized?
I guess I would say time has always been a factor because we started so quickly. I was so energized and so determined to share it. There was never any great time to plan a project and start a year in advance. And maybe that was good because I probably would have lost my momentum. So time has always been, a factor in the sense of I keep seeing and hearing from the teachers how we can help more. So I want to add more. And it's just the time and the build out and the support from other persons, because it's gone from just me starting the program the first year and doing so much with the help of one other person from my office to now having so many people on board and helping us and volunteers, and realizing if I'm going to grow this and have it multiply out, and I want to make sure we maintain the fidelity of the program because that's how come it's been so effective. It's going to take great organizational skills, a team, and to keep moving along.
On the other side of it, and what is something you've seen that's been really like, oh yeah, this is why I started this? Some reward that you've seen?
When a student tells you that his future is to go from the primary school he's at to a high school, to do sixth form, and then to go to a tertiary education school here in Jamaica, and he wants to be an engineer, you can't stop. You have to keep going. Or the little high school student who at 12 years old is learning to read, misses the bus to come to summer school. Because we facilitate with the transportation of the students, and there is a bus that picks them up in the downtown area. He missed the bus and used his pocket money to take transportation halfway and walked the other half up. It took him an hour and a half to walk. So he was determined to come to summer school because he wants to learn to read.
And I can attest that being outside in the summer here is
he arrived drenched in sweat, and it's an uphill walk. I want to thank my board of directors who, with not much notice, I went to them and asked them, would you come together with me and help me create a foundation, be part of the board, have faith in what I'm doing. And all my board of directors said yes and created this incredible board that I know will guide us to making this sustainable and a big future. So I'd love to thank my directors, Mr. Joe Matalon, who is chairing, Christine Matalon, who is our secretary, Jody Gregg, Jennifer Scott, Paulette Mitchell, and Renee Reynolds. Fantastic group of persons who believe in what I'm trying to do and have supported me from the moment I asked, would you guide me? And they said, yes, we're there. And also our sponsors from day one, the Chase Fund, through the Supreme Ventures lottery company. They've been with us from day one, supporting us. Sandals Foundation, when I called them and asked, would you assist? Would you collaborate with me? Would you receive the funds on our behalf? And they were like, we are there for you. And they've been there from day one and made this possible. I'd like to thank them as well. And all our food donors who have given us our food, all our financial donors who have given us the support for the last 3 years. Thank you.
Well, I can speak on behalf of Lindamood-Bell and thank you for having the energy, and it's just always a treat to meet somebody that is a go-getter that gets things done. And while many of us talk about solutions, that you're actually out there providing solutions in a much needed situation. So I think you deserve a lot of credit, and the thanks from us and everybody. I'm sure that the students appreciate it as well, and the teachers too.
And I thank Lindamood-Bell. When Holly Aarons answered my first phone call, I think she thought this lady was really crazy. But she stuck it out with Dave Kivre, and they have guided us and supported us, your entire team, Mia, everyone, Melissa, Erica, because the program's a little different. It's not a district, it's actually a country we're trying to change. So it has its similarities but differences, and with your guidance you've made it successful, and you've said, Mandy, we should do this, we shouldn't do this, and whatever you tell us to do with your expertise and guidance, it's been phenomenal. It's worked. We're still here, going strong.
Well, thank you much for sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
I want to thank Mandy again, and thank you, the listener. And also, again, if you're interested in helping sustain and expand this project, go to Ms. Melville's website, Creative Language-Based Learning Foundation, or contact us at Lindamood-Bell. Check out the Lindamood-Bell YouTube channel to see a short documentary on this project. And I want to thank you for listening to the Lindamood-Bell Radio Podcast. If you like what you've heard, rate us and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow Lindamood-Bell on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We are Lindamood-Bell Learning Processes.